Hello everybody and welcome to Kakushigoto episodes 1 and 2 anime review. Completely unplanned. Didn't plan on watching this, but the things that I did plan on watching on a Thursday for review, No Guns Life and Origairu, both got delayed. So I was like, you know what am I gonna do? Should I just not do a review on that day? And I was like, nah. As with most people in the world, I got nothing but time, so pick this up. It looked alright. With every season now, it seems like there's a father-daughter show. Like the last few at least, it's pretty weird how they just keep coming out. Maybe it's a new trend. Hopefully, who knows? I have no idea. But anyway, yeah, despite me being woefully unprepared to do this, I thought it was pretty good to watch. I kind of get the indication that it's going to be mostly lighthearted and fluffy, but then like there are times when I'm just like, this feels like it's going to turn really sad. Like I've got that like nagging feeling in my back. There are a bunch of different reasons for this, which I'll get to when I go through the episodes. But yeah, kind of, I'm not apprehensive, because if it does turn sad, that's fine. I'm down for some sad, I'm down for some happy. But yeah, it's gonna be an interesting one, that is for sure. Anyway, let's jump into the episodes, starting of course with episode 1, because that's how numbers work, and let's do this thing. So the episode begins with a girl, who we later find out is Hime, grown-up Hime. She's 18 at this point, unlocking the door to the house. It's not a house, it's the like office where they were working. Again, we find out later. And at first I was really confused. I was like, she's 18? I thought she was like a little girl. But then we go to a flashback where, you know, first of all, we see her birth, I guess, because that's the thing. It turns out the dad, his name is Kakushigoto. Get it? It's like the title of the show. It's exactly the title of the show, actually. Very clever. He's a manga artist, and he draws a more older manga. I'm trying to think of a way to. It's probably a lewd manga, right? Let's just call it what it is. And yeah, when he's recognised at his child's birth by the doctor or whatever, he then decides, you know what? She can never know. My daughter can never know what I do for a living. And you know, I'd say it was overreacting, but at least half those people recognised who he was. Also kind of weird because they kept saying like it's not a popular series, and yet everywhere he goes, it seems like someone recognises him, or there's something from the series or something. It's kind of weird. But anyway, the opening. I've got one note for the opening, and it's from the very first segment of the opening. So as she gets older, you know, he's there, and then the last segment he's not, and I'm like, is he gonna die? Is it gonna be really sad? Is she gonna be left alone? Like that would honestly be really sad, and the fact that he's not shown up in any of the like future, you know, when she's 18 segments, makes me think, God, are they gonna, would they do something like that? It kind of seems like they're gonna, because again, later on we sort of see it's heavily implied that the wife is not with them anymore. So it could, like I said, could get really sad. I've just got that gut feeling where it's like there's going to be a moment where I'm going to be like, okay, time to swallow. Yep, okay, not going to cry, damn it. It's going to be one of them. I can sort of feel it. It's coming, isn't it? It's definitely going to happen. Anyway, the rest of this first section of the episode, here's basically the introduction to, we see a bunch of the characters, haven't caught any of their names yet, but it's in the workplace, and his workplace is essentially make it so it's impossible to distinguish at a glance, and that's basically what they've done. They've hit no manga allowed in the manga studio. That's what we'll call it. It's what we'll call it. Other things too. It's very, very interesting to say the least. And on his one thing I thought was totally overkill, I just saw it in my notes. He like goes out of the house in a suit and then gets changed into his casuals because he can't work unless he's in his casuals. He used to work naked, which is a plot point later on, so that's a thing. Hime tells her friends that she doesn't know what her dad does and everything. You know, not too much on Hime. We then find out that her teacher is also a fan and has read the manga, so that's kind of funny. That was like, of course she is. Of course, it makes a lot of sense. He gets a new editor who went to his house instead, wearing an anime t-shirt, and then they talk about, that's the other thing that they do in this show, they sort of weave in like manga creator facts, I guess. That's sort of, I don't know if they're true, obviously, but it's kind of an interesting way to do it. The manga editor is wearing, I guess, this t-shirt, which is new merch for his series, but it's terrible. That's what we'll call it. It's really bad. They talk about the gotta make the shirt wearable, and I agree with that. Like, I wouldn't. They literally just like, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. If I would never go out with a where it's just a character's face. That's just me. Unless it was obviously to something anime related, like a Comic-Con or whatever. I mean, I've got a couple shirts that I would never wear out in just everyday public life. Not because I'm embarrassed, but it's because like I'm not gonna do that. It's not a good shirt, you know, and it's kind of where this one wasn't a good shirt either. But yeah, then he like ends up coloring in the shirt to you know, disguise it essentially. I think there was like a Precure reference in there or something. That's another thing. Things are all coming back to me. Lots of references. I'll get to them when I get to them. They straight up name dropped a couple of shows as well. Like I think it was One Piece. Sorry, there was another one in there as well, and I've forgotten what it was. You know, so there's that too. Very. Wonder why they can just straight up name drop, but then later on there's like parody, like different names. That's kind of weird. Not too sure on that one. Also, pretty funny. He changes his pose to hide the t-shirt, like, you know, that or that or that or whatever. And she has a different, and little Hime has a different job, I guess, for each pose, which is kind of weird but pretty funny. It made me laugh a little bit. But anyway, later on, she asks him, was he a CEO? And he's like, you know what? Don't need to know that. Kakushi saves a cat from drowning, which is pretty quick, but however, he doesn't give his name and acts like a Batman, basically, just so it doesn't end up in the paper and his secret gets out, which, fair enough. Batman's cool anyway. Then there's this whole thing's about wishes. Hime's wish was that he'll be important eventually, which of course, he just sees it written on the paper and he's like, that hurts. That would hurt me. Like, I felt his pain there, despite it wasn't meant to be painful at all. Then there's an Attack on Titan and the Tokyo Ghoul reference, and then he discovers, okay, dark fantasy is what I gotta do. There's a moody girl who is quickly becoming my favourite. She says you gotta become a mango, which, again, point A as to why she's quickly becoming my favourite. He asks a mango for help. Mango doesn't help him very much. The editor, then there's a thing that says the editor, hang on, I wrote it down because it's editor ensures that the creator can't do what they want. Basically, so they don't rest on their laurels and just sort of coast off success, is basically what they were saying. I don't know how true that is, but that's what they were saying. Then there's an assistant character that shows up as well. Haven't learned all their names yet, and I doubt I will, to be honest. I might get a few, don't think I'm going to get all of them. That's just a thing that might happen. He has to become famous, but then she'll know his secret. So he's like, alright, become a mango instead. A mango, I think they think it's like a well-respected but niche manga artist, I think is how they described it. Which is fair enough, you know? The kids are starting a detective agency. They're going to go up the hill where Hime was told there's a monster up there called, I wrote it down, hang on. Fancy Peeps is how it was translated. Don't know what the original Japanese was. And that's basically, I guess he told her that to keep her away from his office, basically. But no, they go anyway. They get chased by the blonde person. I'll be honest, wasn't too sure on the gender, so I'm not going to make any assumptions. But yeah, Kakushi saves them by throwing a thing, but then hides before they see it was him. They end up in Starbucks, which is definitely not Starbucks. Shout out to Hime for knowing that it was Starbucks, and when the others didn't. You know all I'm going to say? They throw his manga at his face and run because they think he's a monster instead of a hero, which is less than good. Later on, Hime explains her wish to him. It's like, no, I thought being popular or whatever would make you happy. And he's like, I'll be happy if you grow up big and happy and we're all happy. Happy. And that was the end of the first episode. Thought it was a good introduction. Liked the references. Liked the funnies. There was a lot of good stuff in there. But now, let's get right on to episode 2. We open up with the gang making some gyoza, which I don't really know what that is. I think it's like that soft stuff, but that might be mochi actually. I'm gonna be honest, not a expert on Japanese cuisine or cuisine in general. I am not a food man. But yeah, they're making some of that. Basically, the manuscripts do, so they're procrastinating. You know, if you've ever had to do homework, which of course you have, because you've all a kid once. Even if you want to forget that time, like a lot of people may want to. You were all a kid once, you all had to do homework. It sucked, everyone knows that. So yeah. Kids are on a beach trip. They finished the manuscript in time, by the way, it's not important. Kids are on a beach trip. Matey boy, Kakushi, gets so lonely and, worried that he's like, alright, I'm going to secretly follow you. So he organizes a company trip to the beach, the same beach where she is at, Hime. And yeah, they do that. They talk about Kamakura fever for a bit, which is where a manga artist went to the beach but then decided that was bad, so went back. Great story there. So then they first have to clean the place. He goes to go find his daughter. He gets caught by the teacher, who what is that even thing she had? Like a litter picker, but it's a big one. She stabs him against the tree with it. One of them. He keeps saying that something about someone's cute regarding to Hime. Teacher thought he was talking about her. Sorry. So yeah, she gets all blushy, blush. He does crazy things during this, like grab a beetle so that Hime won't not catch one. Also, get a professional chef to do the curry. There was one other thing as well I haven't written down. But yeah, one kid at some point asks Hime, hey, did your mum ever teach you how to do that right? And it's like, oh, yeah, oof. And it's just quiet. And then the teacher tells Kakushi, he's like, hey, do you ever think when she's not thinking and looking all derpy, she looks derpy, that hey, she's just not thinking about it? And it's like, you're making me sad. Stop it. You know, we had curry jokes a minute ago, and now I'm sad. Like, why you do this? Why you gotta bring it up? So yeah, it's pretty obvious that the mum is dead, which is pretty sad. Oh, it is not a good thing. It hurts me a little bit, that's for sure. Anyway, the others finish cleaning that's enough sad. The others finish cleaning I was gonna say mansion there, the small shack that they're staying at. So tomorrow it's time for fun. Typhoon rolls in, power cut. They end up drawing manga, so they went away from their office on a time off and they drew manga anyway. Apparently it was pretty funny. There's that. And later on we find out that the curry was too hot that the chef made, and that curry is curry flavored, which belongs in there with people die if they are killed. There's great quotes. So, curry is curry flavored. An alarm goes off, and this is the Hime training exercise. You know, you have like fire drills or whatever else. This is the Hime drill. So basically, make sure everyone's up to date on the company policy regarding what happens if the Hime alarm goes off, which they just act like it's like an important board meeting is apparently what it is. Enough of that. Let's go to a festival. That's way more fun. Basically, there's a load of bootleg stuff regarding his series about, despite the fact, again, series isn't actually that popular. They explained it, but it's weird that there were so many people doing it. So there's that. They must have all collaborated, I guess. He buys all the stuff to get them hidden, therefore ensuring that there's going to be way more for next year, which is, haha, very funny. Then, I've gone past that quite quick, wasn't too long. The alarm goes off for real back in the place. It's the police. Oh no. In order to avoid a bad situation, he tells them, hey, we're a manga artist. And the police don't believe him, because of course they don't. And all the stuff they've got, very incriminating. The search history, that was pretty bad. The gun, the sword, the white powder, you know, there was a lot of stuff that made it look like they were up to something very, 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 very shady. Which, to be fair, no, they're not. They're not. They have a job. But in order to clear their name, I think it was the assistant, pulls out the manga. Here's the picture of the dude naked, and they're like, oh yeah, that's you. Police shut the door like they've seen some things and go on their way. And then there is a bit more at the end. This hurt me a little bit in a good way. So they're looking through the boxes in the closet where it's got like Hime's like ages on it. It's like, when you're this age, open this box, and whatever. This is where she got the yukata from the festival. And then we go to the present day. He goes to learn how to sew back here. And then we go back to the present day with older 18-year-old Hime. She found out all the drawing and everything. We see a couple of the other assistants and other people by a car as well, looking at, well, see, look what's going on. And then Hime finds more boxes in there with like more ages, which, oh god, I don't know I don't know if I want them to turn around and be like, how he fooled you, it's a joke the whole time, or if I want them to make me cry. It's one of those two things. That was the end of the episode. First 2 episodes. This has been quite long because it's 2 episodes, obviously. I've enjoyed this show quite a bit. This first 2 episodes. I'm saying I'm glad is wrong. But I've enjoyed this. I'm glad I decided to watch it. Maybe I'm not glad that the other things got delayed, but silver lining. I watched this. I probably wouldn't have watched this if they hadn't. So, silver lining to one hell of a dark cloud being the state of the world right now. So, yeah, this show is pretty damn good. Of the father-daughter ones I've seen, this is, I mean, it's too early. It's 2 episodes. I was going to say it's probably the best. It's too early. It could get really bad halfway through. Who knows? But anyway, thank you everybody for watching this review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please consider subscribing and stuff for more reviews. That would help me out a bunch. I will see you next week for another episode of this. Take care, and bye guys.